I want to have as the middle of my remarks a reading, an active reading of a written statement by Dr. Maulana Karenga, the founder of Kwanzaa, the holiday Kwanzaa. He wrote something about Malcolm in honor of his birthday this year called The Meaning and Measure of Malcolm, Remembrance and Rightful Reading. Now, I had prepared a sermon outline, but I'm going to save that for next month because I want to share this with you as written by Dr. Karenga. And then I'm going to finish with some personal remarks of my own that I think will convey what the political spiritual legacy of Minister Malcolm means to me and what I suggest could mean to all of us. Dr. Karenga writes, "The life and legacy of Minister Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik Al-Shabazz, weighs heavy in the scales of African and human history, measuring as a mountain's weight against the leaf-light and less than notable lives of his would-be detractors. Malcolm is a multidimensional Inhotepian man, offering models and messages of rich and timeless value. He is a model master teacher and student, a model organizer and critical thinker, a model revolutionary, and a model of black manhood in the most moral, mental, and cooperatively practiced ways. Moreover, he is rightly conceived of and honored as a soldier servant of the people and a moral teacher. Thus, his measure and meaning lies in his written and oral teachings, as well as his living practice texts, which provide us numerous models and messages of infinite and enduring value, of which only a few can be identified and discussed here." He's essentially saying Malcolm left us a legacy, a documented, both written and video and verbal legacy that we can mine endlessly the value of his life. Dr. Karenga continues, "Malcolm comes into consciousness and active commitment at a fundamental time of turning for our people, this country, and indeed the world. This is that awesome decade of the 60s in which liberation struggles reached around and engulfed the world. Malcolm, reading the signs of the times, says, we are living in a world where great changes are taking place. Moreover, our present generation is witnessing the end of colonialism, Europeanism, Westernism, or just plain old whiteism, the end of white supremacy. In other words, he tells and teaches us we are living in an era of revolution, and the revolt of the African American is part of the rebellion against oppression and colonialism which has characterized this era. And though this process is still unfolding with bumps, bad faith, betrayals, divisions, and setbacks, the struggle continues, Bishop. Or as they say, el actuar continuum. Mary McLeod Bethune taught us that the measure of our progress as a race is in the precise relation to the depth of faith in our people held by our leaders. Therefore, she says, we must never forget their sufferings and their sacrifices, for they were the foundations of the progress of our people. Such is the status and contribution and the remembrance, respect, and rightful reading of Malcolm. For Malcolm begins his project and practice with love of faith in his people. He will not confuse individual ascension or personal success, his own personal success. He won't confuse that for the people. He will not confuse it for respect with justice, respect, and success for his people. He says, no matter how much respect, no matter how much recognition whites show towards me, as far in his conception of and commitment to his people, to Africans at home and abroad, here in the larger diaspora and on the continent. He wants them to learn their history, question their religion for its relevance to lived life, and to view and value themselves as possessors of dignity and divinity, worthy of ultimate respect, and having within themselves the capacity and courage to examine and alter their lives in productive, progressive, and promising ways. Wow, that was a power-packed sentence. I don't know if we all were paying attention, because I know that I don't read well. So I don't want that to be the cause of you missing what was just said. I want you to pay attention for a moment while I reread that powerful sentence. He says, Malcolm wants us to learn our history, question our religion for its relevance to our lived lives. Does your religion relate to your life today? Not 2,000 years ago in the ancient Holy Land, but does your religion, the one you participate in, the one you support, the one you commit to despite the failings of your leaders, despite settlements for accusations of meddling with young men's sexuality, despite the contradictions of the wealth accumulated in the leader of these churches, and the people are poor, despite the irrelevancy of what happens in the pulpit, and then compared to what's happening on the street, does your religion have relevance to your life? Malcolm says we have to view and value ourselves as possessors of dignity and what? Divinity. Y'all, the word divinity simply means of God, of divineness. Do you believe, children of God, do you believe that you have God in you? Do you recognize that you were born with any divinity? That you as a child were a perfect expression of God's will? That you came here with a purpose that's greater than Joe or Larry or Carl or Betsy or Kim? That your name is not the name that you would have gotten if your religion and your culture had not been stripped from you during the institution of slavery? Don't you know that you are greater than you ever could imagine, children of God? This is what Malcolm was trying to tell us. That we have inner divinity and dignity. That we are worthy of ultimate respect, and having within ourselves the capacity and courage to examine and alter our lives. That means change, folks. You can change your life. If you don't like the way you're living, if you don't like the results of your choices, if you don't like the poverty you're in, if you don't like the relationship you're in, if you don't like the nature of your existence on your job, if you don't like the way your body looks, if you don't like the way you speak or talk, or you don't like the way you look, you can change, is what